Jasmine Scheffel, and today I'll be doing another tutorial on flare legs, specifically for entrances for invert shoulder mounts and power spins. So I sort of did one a few years ago that everybody seems to like, and I rewatched it and I'm like, this isn't a very good tutorial. So I'm doing another one, focusing more on the legs part, because so many of my students have trouble with it, and some of my friends that are really good at pole still can't get this. So I have more progressions and a better explanation on how to get these legs. So we're going to start with just a regular fan kick, because it is a fan kick. It's just going the other way, starting your fan kick this way instead of like this type where we started like this. But you can understand because it's the same concept. So with this, just like beginner, very beginner fan kick, like the number one thing people do wrong is they just kick. They might turn sideways to move their leg across their body, but if you notice, the knee faces the ceiling, and then you see the side of my leg. But what you really want is an internal rotation, which will, you'll need your oblique, you'll need your side body to engage. So instead of having the knee at the ceiling, it's pointed at a wall, and you see the back of my knee, the back of my leg, not the side, like a chopsticks, like this. So in this just beginner fan kick, focus on engaging your obliques, your side abs, and then internally rotating the leg that's going to kick, like this, and then fan. And this will help you tremendously with the flare legs. Good, so just, you don't want to just kick the knee up like this. You need to engage your obliques, and then when you hit the straddle, you can lean back, because this will help in the spin too, and when you're doing like an invert or something. So the proper way, I'm gonna internally rotate my right leg, engage my right side abs, and then when I hit the straddle, I'll lean back. And then we'll make your legs go higher, which is good for the spin. So next, we will go ahead and start from, this is the drill I do for my students with two hands. Before I even let them flare, because this is where most of them are failing. So we're just going to do the step swing, and then so like I said before, you're doing the fan kick, but it's in reverse. So instead of on this side, I kick my right. If I was spinning this way, I would be kicking my left, but everything else is the same. So we just start with a spin, and then you start the fan kick, start the flare this side when you're going this way with the left leg. And I'm going to look for like, what part of the leg am I seeing? So I want to see back of your legs like chopsticks, and on this. Your butt is what you're showing to the audience. So we'll just do a simple drill to try to achieve that you get to use both hands, and you're just concentrating on making sure you're engaging your oblique, the legs traveling across your body, and it's internally rotated. And you can film yourself to make sure like you see this and not this. And then the other weird thing that I see people do is like sometimes their angle, like their body's coming out like this, and then their hips will be out, and then their legs kind of go back in towards the pole, and that's definitely not right. You're at this angle, your feet are furthest away from the pole. They're not like, you're not going to be like this in the spin. Like your angle will be away from the pole in order of head, chest, torso, legs, feet. So you just do your step swing and try to engage the oblique and bring the leg across your chest. If you do it properly, you'll feel a boost. You'll feel a boost of weightlessness, and then you know that you're doing it right. So it's simple. It will just look something like this. So like in the other tutorial I said, don't try to stay on the ground and then do this, because it won't work as well. So get in a spin first. You have plenty of time, just like a fly spin or whatever, just get in the air and then start. Then start the internal rotation, oblique, and hit like a left split. So you should look like that in the air. Just step swing, step swing, and you can film yourself to make sure, because you don't want it to look like this. Your legs being lowest down. It will also create a lift for you. So if you notice, I'm in my split, my legs are coming up because I'm engaging my side body. Whereas if you just bring it across your chest but your knee faces the ceiling, then my legs don't get any lift at all, and that's why it's wrong. So this is the first step. Try it on both sides, and the audience should see the back of your leg, your butt. And then next, we can try the straddle from the floor with two hands. Just so you know, you're not pausing. So then once my students finally get this, then the next step is like, oh, they hit here and then they pause. But there's no pause. You're going straight through this motion. Once the leg's all the way across your body, then you're bringing it up, and you can let your upper body lean back. This is it. And we will connect the first part, once you get that, with the rest of it, with the straddle. Now the move, it's an explosive move with your legs. Explosive, like fast and powerful. So like I said before, there's no pause. It's coming across your body, and it's all explosive. This part's explosive, this part's explosive, and then when you want to come back down, this part's explosive too. So there's no pause. You need to be engaged, tight, not loose and flimsy. You need to have, I call these like a gymnastics body. You're tight, you're calm, but you're engaged, your stabilizer muscles, and your leg muscles, because you have to be explosive. But the good thing is you can still practice this with one or two hands, for the spin part. And then you carry it over to inverts and shoulder mounts and stuff, and it's the same thing. And it creates this like great momentum for you, but you have to have the right timing with no pause. So right now we'll just go ahead and add the straddle part to the spin. So again, no pause. I get my left leg across, I engage my oblique, and hit the straddle, and you can allow yourself to lean back. So, and that's how I my leg strap, that I hit my toe. Okay, and then another to finish, because sometimes people want to do, there's like that windmill invert, I think is what it's called, where you do these legs over and over again in an invert and come back down. So the back down part's important too. And for power spins, like Ona spin and stuff, to make it look super cool, as soon as you're done the straddle part, your legs come back to here. So I once started with my left butt facing the audience, and once I finished my straddle, and now my right side is facing. So when the step swing split and the step swing split added with the straddle feels okay, go ahead and start trying to finish this way, and then you can heel drive backwards to generate more spin to keep yourself going if you wanted to redo inverts or have power and momentum. So, and we'll still just do it all with two hands for now. So, here, just like that. And those are the flare legs, that's pretty much it. So now you can practice in the other video. Those drills are more for getting you ready to spin with one hand. So again, in the last video, I don't want to go over all of it in this one, but like I said, you need to get comfortable spinning with one hand. So once you're comfortable, you can watch that video, but once you're comfortable, you should be able to add all these legs to a one-handed reverse grab or Ona spin. Another thing I like to do is play with this part, the whip back part. It's interesting the way it can give you airtime too, and keep you in this really cool momentum, and that makes it easier for allowing you to do more stuff out of it. So just keep that in mind and play with all these little pieces. And next we will do it out of an invert, just a short a few short drills similar to this one that I make my students do because it seems like they're already beat, the beginning is already wrong. So that I gave them tips to help them achieve like step by step. So that's what we will do. After we'll just do it one more time with one hand, flare legs, and I'll just do a big whip back. For the windmill invert with the same flare legs or with shorter mount, it will be easier on spin. So go on spin pull, and then we'll kind of do like we did with the spin, this static spin, the reverse grab. So I noticed that they just like don't do the beginning right. So so you can focus on the legs and what your lower body's doing. The purpose of this is getting your upper body nice and comfortable and sturdy and secure so you can focus on the legs. So I just have them do this spin, like your arms are like this, but you get a running start so your body's out horizontally and you don't want your hips to drop this way or this way. They stay. You need to engage your stabilizer muscles. So you stay out in a straight line like this. And now I'm pretty free with my upper body so I can, here, remember this chopstick split. And then you start just like all over again with this stuff from the beginning of the video, the same chopstick split. So you film yourself, you should see this back of your legs and not side of your legs. So you don't want it. This is wrong, it's here. And I'll just have them do the spin first because that part seemed uncomfortable. So again, I go ahead and have them put it in your armpit because this chicken wing grip is very nice and secure, and this takes a lot of weight for you to feel comfortable here. Across. And then just like the beginning, you go ahead and from there you can do the rest of it. So when you get it, so the chopstick split, butt is facing the audience, and then you continue on into your straddle, and then you can lean back, especially if you're trying to invert, but even if you're not, even if you're coming back down, it makes it look a lot better when you lean back. You can do different, once you get that, then you can do different grips, like there's this, my pole's a little slippery. There's this forearm grip that's pretty nice to practice out of as well. So that's easy, you just apply all the same stuff, make sure you're internally rotating, engaging your oblique, and then if you wanted to keep the windmill going, make sure after the straddle, you whip back and then turn to start again. And then having it in the armpit for that part also helps a lot because a lot of people will sink back down during it, but by keeping it secure here in your armpit, I don't lose so much ground. So again, I'll just make them do this first. And if they can't do that, then we stop there until they get that. Because a lot of times their hips will fall one way or another, and they just have to get used to that type of spin. One last little tip that seems pretty obvious, but I noticed that a lot of people, this is where they're messing up. When you do the invert, you're not like this. You're not straight up and down with your torso, and you're not on one side of the pole. I'm pulling it into my chest, and I'm sideways. So, some of my chest neck head is on this side of the pole, while the rest of my body is on the other side of the pole. So don't try to stay square or straight up or on one side of the pole. When you're doing the windmill and the flare legs for an invert, you are on both, like your chest is on one side and your head's on one side, and then your torso and legs are on the other side. So keep that in mind when you're doing this. I hope this tutorial helped you. Let me know in the comments, or if you have any other tutorial requests, I'll be happy to make one for you. I have to go. So this is it, but this should be enough. And you can apply the same thing to shoulder mount across your body, engage your oblique. It actually makes the deadlift easier, believe it or not. I know it seems like an extra step, but it's very, very important, and it's all about one leg at a time, internal rotation across your body, and then engage the oblique. And be explosive without pauses. So just remember these 100 things, and then you'll be able to flare.